Hello everyone, this is Vishwesh and we are in the series of videos on aptitude skills. Now in this video we are going to deal with the topic decimal fraction. So let us start with this topic. So in this video first we will go through the concept of decimal fraction, what exactly decimals and fractions are, and obviously afterwards we will have practice questions on low difficulty, medium and high difficulty. So basically when we are talking about decimal and fractions, so this is how you can go through this table. These are the fractions, then same fraction represented in terms of percentages and again in terms of decimals. So in case of fractions, generally it has a numerator and denominator. Okay, so this way we have fractions. So although it is mentioned as 1 here, but it is 1 upon 1. Then this is 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3 and so on. So all these figures what you can see on the first column are the fractions. In the second column we are representing those same fractions in terms of percentages. For example, 1 upon 1 is actually, when we calculate percentage of this into 100, that gives 100%. 1 upon 2 into 100, that gives 50%. 1 upon 3 into 100, that gives 33.33%, and so on. So basically percentages are out of 100, the same fraction but out of 100. So in case of fraction it is out of 1. Out of 1 it is 1. Out of 1 it is 0.5. Out of 1 it is 1 by 3 and so on. But these percentages are out of 100. Out of 100 it is 100%. Out of 100 it is 50% and so on. And same figures we can represent in decimals. So this is 100%. 100% can be written as 100 per is this baseline, and cent is again 100. So when we say 100% like this, or we can say it like this, 100%. So basically it is 100%. So 100, this per is this line and this cent is again 100. So when we cut this we get again 1 as the value, which is fraction, 1 upon 1. And in decimals it can be written as 1.0 or 1.00. Same way when we are talking about half, 1 by 2 as the fraction, it is 1 by 2 into 100 and this is percent. So this is 50%, and 50% is, how can we write it, 50%. So this gives 0.5 as the answer in case of decimals. So decimals representations is in terms of this dot and some figures on the right side. In case of percentage it is this representation, and in case of fractions it is numerator and denominator. Okay, the fraction may be like this as well, 4 by 5, 8 by 5, 8 by 6, or it may be anything. So every number actually, let it be any round figure or let it be any decimal figure, it can be represented in terms of fractions. And any figure can be represented, any number can be represented in terms of decimals as well. Obviously in terms of percentages as well. So even if we have a round figure, round number, for example 25, still it can be represented in terms of decimal as 25.0 or 25.00. So we can represent it in decimal form, we can represent it in fraction form as well. So 25 number can be represented in fraction form as 25 by 1. Correct? So this is how decimal and fraction, these concepts are. Now when we are solving the questions, aptitude questions on the basis of this decimal fraction topic, you have to use these concepts. How can we represent 1 by 4 in terms of percentage as well as in terms of decimal, and maybe somehow we have to simplify it to get the final answer. Okay, so let's start with questions. So in case of questions, here we have the decimal fraction question, low difficulty level question. What is given? 2.39 whole square or 2.39 square minus 1.61 square divided by 2.39 minus 1.61. Now here similarity is this square and this number is same. this square and this number is again same, and there is minus sign at both the places. Now to solve this, what we can do, we can recall the formula a square minus b square equals to a minus b, and in another bracket a plus b. So when we open this bracket, when we try to multiply a to both these figures, it will be a square plus ab, and when we multiply minus b to both these numbers, it will be minus ba plus b square. Minus b square. So minus plus will be minus b square. So AB and BA we can cancel, plus minus sign is there, and what remains is a square minus b square. So same figure we can represent in terms of this formula, a minus b, a plus b. Now same if we do here for 2.39 square minus 1.61 square, it will be 2.39 minus 1.61. This will be one bracket, and in second bracket we will have 2.39 plus 1.61, and divided by 2.39 minus 1.61 as it is, 2.39 minus 1.61. We can put this in bracket. So this bracket and this bracket is same, we can simply cancel it, and addition of these two numbers will be 1 plus 9, 10, so 0 will be there at the end. Then 6 and that carry 1, so 7, and 3 again 0 is there, and then decimal is there. 2 plus 1, 3, and 1 carry 4, so 4.00 is the correct answer, which is option B. Now let's go for second question. Again, this is of low difficulty. Only thing is, this is a little tricky. This question is little tricky question. The question is, what decimal of an hour is a second? Okay, now here we have to find out what decimal of an hour is a second. So we have to compare second. We have to compare second with respect to hour. Okay, so second we can consider in numerator, and hour we can consider in denominator. Now to compare this, or to further to solve this, we have to convert either second into hours or hours into seconds. Now converting hours into second is simple, so let's do that. Second is 1 second divided by 1 hour. 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 60 into 60 will be the number here, and when we simplify this, we will get the final answer. Correct? So let's start dividing it, because the options are in terms of decimal and this is in terms of fraction. So we have to convert this fraction in terms of decimal by starting division. So here we can keep this 0 aside. So we can write it again, 1 divided by 6 into 6 into 100. Okay, let's keep these 0s aside. 6 1s are 6, 0 will be first, then it will become 10, so 6 1s are 6, it will become 40, so 6 6s are 30, again we have 4 as the remainder, so again 40 it will become, and 6 6s are 36, and this will go on, so this will be unending. Okay, now let's divide by another 6, 6 1s are 6, here again we will have 0 point, again we have 0 because it is 1, and then it will become 16. Now 6 2s are 12, and remainder is 4, then it will become 46, right? So 6 2s are 12, remainder is 4, 46 it will become, and 6 6 are 36, 6 7s are 42, so 6 7s are will be the part, and again the remainder will be 4, it will again become 46, and then this will be again unending. Okay, so here what we got finally, it is 0.02777 unending divided by 100. So this 100 has to be considered here, and then the decimal will again shift. So the final will be 0.0002777, and this should be the final answer, which is option C. Option C is correct. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question is again tricky. So if you are very well with fractions and decimals, this is very easy question, and since it is tricky, that's why it is under medium difficulty level. What question is, if 2994 divided by 14.5 is equals to 172, so this is already given, this answer is already given, and we have to find out 29.94 divided by 1.45 is equals to what. Now since it is already given, same figures you can see, 2994, only thing is decimal is there, and here also 145, only thing is decimal has shifted its position. So in this question what we can do is, we can write down this given as it is, 2994 divided by 14.5, and this is equals to 172. Now here we are shifting the decimal by 2 positions, and here we are shifting the decimal by 1 position if we compare it with this, correct? So when we shift the decimal, or when we put the decimal over here, we have to take out 2 zeros. So 100, 29.94 multiplied by 100, this calculation is same as this 2994. So we did nothing, we just shifted the decimal to this place, and to compensate that we have considered 100 on the multiplication part. Similarly, if we have to consider this 1.45, if we want this answer instead of 14.5, we need decimal over here, we have to compensate it by multiplying 10, correct? This is how we got 29.94 multiplied by 100 and for 1.45 multiplied by 10. So after rewriting it again, we can see here 29.94 multiplied by 100 and divided by 1.45 multiplied by 10. Okay, and this is equals to 172 as it is, which is originally given. Now this 0 we can cut, it will remain 10 multiplied by 10. Now here in question we have 29.94 and 1.45, so it is as it is. Only thing is this 10 is extra, we can send this to other side, so it will be 29.94 divided by 1.45 is equals to 172 upon 10. So 172 upon 10 will be 17.2, correct? So the final answer 17.2 is correct. Now let's go to the next question, medium difficulty level question again. We have one expression 11.98 multiplied by 11.98 plus 11.98 multiplied by x, here it is x, plus 0.02 multiplied by 0.02. Okay, what will be the perfect square for x equal to? So basically this bracket is given, and what we have to do is we have to check so that this bracket will become a perfect square. This bracket should become a perfect square. To become a perfect square, to make it perfect square, this bracket, what will be the value of x? What should be the value of x? Okay, now when we look at this expression 11.98, 11.98, 0.02, 0.02, what we remind is of the expression x square plus somewhere 2xy plus y square, and this is nothing but x plus y whole square, correct? So if we represent the expression in terms of this, here in place of x it will be 11.98, in place of y it will be 0.02, and this 11.98 is already there, this x is already there, 11.98, then y has to be 0.02 and this 2 has to be there. So instead of that x is given, so x can be represented as this and this. So x is equals to 2 multiplied by 0.02, which gives answer as 0.04. So if we put the value of x as 0.04 in this equation, in place of x if we put this value, it will become of this form, and if it becomes of this form it will be x plus y whole square, and that will be a perfect square. That now let us start with the last question. Now this question is high difficulty level question, and obviously it is a tricky question. So before going through this solution part, I request you all to pause the video and try this question on your own. If you are not able to solve, you can go through this solution. Let's read the question first. The price of commodity X increases by 40 paise every year, while the price of commodity Y increases by 15 paise every year. So there are two commodities, commodity X, commodity Y. And commodity X, the price increases by 40 paise every year. In rupees it will be 0.40, and price of commodity Y increases by 15 paise, which is rupees 0.15 every year. Now in 2001 the price of commodity X was 4.20 rupees and commodity of Y is rupees 6.30. So we can say 2001 year, here we can write it down. So commodity X is having the value rupees 4.20 and commodity Y is 6.30. Okay. In which year commodity X will cost 40 paise more than the commodity Y? This is the question. So what condition is? Commodity X has to be more, it has to be more by 40 paise or 4.40 as compared to commodity Y. Now as of now, if we find out the difference between these two, commodity X is lower and Y is higher. Correct? This is higher and this is lower. But when we add every year, when we add this 40 paise and 0.15 rupees in these two commodities, the commodity price of X will go on increasing and commodity price Y will go on increasing, but comparatively little lower rate. So in short, X will be increasing in a faster rate. So that way, some year, in one of the year, we will reach this condition that commodity X will have 0.40 paise more than Y. Now in 2001 this was the condition, 4.20 and 6.30. In 2002 what will happen? 4.20 will become more than 0.40, so it will be 4.60 rupees and commodity Y will be 6.45, adding 0.15 rupees in commodity Y. In 2003 what will become? This will be 5.00 and this will be 6.60. In 2004 it will be 5.40 and this will be 6.75 and so on. Okay, but what we want, the condition is X should be 0.40 paise more, 0.40 rupees more. As of now X is lower and Y is higher, so still we have to go on the next year. Now instead of going with every year, year by year, instead of that, let's jump by 10 years. After 2001, let's jump by 10 years. So in 2011, what will happen? Since the gap is of 10 years, we can add 4 rupees in commodity X, as it is 0.40 into 10, 4 rupees. So this will become 8.20, the commodity X. And what will be commodity Y? It will increase by 1.5, 10 into 0.15, which is 1.5. So 6.30 plus 1.5 will be 7.80. Now here if you observe the prices, commodity X is higher than 0.40 as compared to commodity Y. And this is how we got the condition. The condition was 40 paise more than commodity Y. So we got the condition here, and that's why 2011 must be the correct answer. So option B, 2011 is correct. So either we can go year by year, but this will take a little more time. Instead of that, the trick is we can jump directly to this. Same question we can solve by forming the equations as well. Forming the equations and then solving it step by step. That will be traditional way. And this is trial and error. What we did was trial and error. And when we added 10 years, that is the trick. This is how we can solve it by logic. Okay, so you can try by forming the equations and solving it to get the answer. So forming the equations, we can assume that after 10 years the commodity X will cost X, commodity Y will cost Y, and after 10 years we are doing it. So original price is this 4.20 and 6.30, and then after 10 years it will be 4.20 plus 10x, and commodity Y will be 6.30 plus 10y, and difference between these two should be 0.40, 40 paise. The difference should be 0.40. So this is how you can form the equations. Form the equations and try it on your own, and let me know in the comment section if you are able to solve it correctly. So this is how we can have the tricky questions also, we can solve it very easily once we go with the logic. So let's end this topic over here, and as usual I will ask you to practice as much as possible for this topic as well. Although this topic is not frequently asked topic, but still you can go for this topic, practice it. Maybe these calculations, this practice will be helpful in other topics. So let us end this topic here, this video here. Thank you.